This time on Burnout, the ultimate drag race challenge.
The blue team and myself don't want to win the race like this, man. We want to take it to the track.
It's a mad thrash to get both cars done.
Thinking about firing James.
Can both teams make it to the finish line? Or will the pressure cause them to blow?
I think we might have hit something bad, to be honest with you.
Previously on Burnout.
You can look good or you can win. It's rare that you can have both. Because you can't focus all your energy on one or the other. You're gonna fail in one of them, guaranteed.
What you guys doing?
Working our ass off.
If everybody was working, you wouldn't be in the spot you're in right now. Rich, you could tell him he's got a lot of confidence. It pours out to all the team members. But they got it planned out to finish everything right at the wire. Once they get all hooked up, they might fire it up. They might run in a couple uh-ohs that's going to send them way far behind.
I wouldn't put it past them, but I bet you money
they'll mess something up.
You need the transmission on.
And if it grenades, you might not ever know whose fault it is.
Everybody had one eye on what they were doing, the other eye was on the clock. Honestly, I didn't know what was gonna happen when it hit zero. Maybe nobody else would notice and we would just keep working and finish.
Get out of the shop now. You have lost. This is over.
The only part that I got was
Get out of the shop now. You have lost.
you guys lost the challenge and he knew we were gonna lose the challenge. Ticked me off a little bit. Get out of the shop. Tired of this.
So I'm in the car up on the lift, and then all of a sudden I hear smash, 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 throwing of the hammer. And John goes storming out. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Kind of leaned out and I couldn't see anything, and they finally let the car down, and there's this smashed TV and a hammer, and no John to be found.
Smash, smash, smash! Kirsten, though, that was the best.
Man, they could have gave that to me. You know, I got a 32-inch ugly fat TV in my apartment, man. I love a nice flat screen.
The TV is dead! We were gonna use that. Nope.
Tired of it. And Clay wants to come on here and tell us it's over. We embarrassed him. You gotta be kidding me.
Well, I'll make sure I'll piss you off before we get to the track, man.
I had to take the aggression out on somebody, you know? That TV just looked perfect.
Smashing up TVs in the shop, tough guy? Well, guess what? Your car still isn't done. So now me and Clay get to go back and decide what the hell we're gonna do with you and your team.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Come on. Hey, y'all, I see you guys are out of time, man. I see you guys still working on your car, but y'all, the blue team and myself don't want to win the race like this, man. That ain't the way to do it. We want to take it to the track, right? Yeah. All right, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He pretty much came over and said that, you know, even though you guys lost the time, we're still gonna give you time to practice on the track, which is perfect. That's what we need. That's the only time we need.
So what do you guys say? Yeah. Ready to get smashed on the track or what? Huh?
Which is cool on his half, but, you know, until Clay gives us the final word, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen.
You ready, fool?
See what it's got, homie.
Come on now. I want to see what these things can do, competing against each other. I mean, we put all this time and all this work, two different teams, two different skill sets, and we want to see
Much love for the Fawns.
who's got the baddest ride.
Coming up next on Burnout.
I am nervous as hell.
Don't touch the brake.
What I've heard and what even his teammates have been saying is that he's afraid of the car.
Hold it.
Thinking about firing James.
Hey guys, this is Lisa Kubo. Like, share, and subscribe SpeedTube TV.
Perfect.
Today, we got our Mustang fired up and rolled it over to the chassis dyno.
Dyno is a big, huge metal drum that's underneath the ground. You put a car on it.
And give her all she's got. However fast that barrel spins, it calculates out how much torque that is and then makes an estimate of horsepower from there.
RPM just flies down, dude.
Seeing how we built the car and how it reacts to the power. When James gets in there and puts the pedal to the metal, that's when you're going to start seeing how the car reacts and how the motor takes it.
Thing actually put out some good numbers. I was excited to see that. This is do or die right now. I mean, all this work we put into it, and if it doesn't produce any numbers, it's back to the shop. I looked over and saw James's face. He was scared. He was absolutely scared out of his mind. If you don't have the kid with a heavy foot, you know, I mean, you ain't gonna go nowhere.
Sitting in and dynoing the car myself was a really nerve-wracking experience. You're sitting in this car and it's not like driving a normal car because you've got so many things to keep in mind. You keep an eye on this and you gotta keep an eye on that, and nitrous pressure, fuel pressure, and you gotta keep all these things in your head while you're still making the pull, and it's really overwhelming.
75, let out. Don't touch the brake.
I've been walking around with this zip tie for a nerve breaker, just chewing on it, man.
I just don't think he's got the balls to do it. After hearing about what he did at Firebird, he was scared. He told me he was scared.
What I've been told and what I've heard and what even his teammates have been saying is that he's afraid of the car.
I seen him yesterday sitting on the benches and he was just, he just looked like he wasn't at ease.
I was a little frightened on the dyno. I'm not gonna lie about that, because that was the fastest car I've ever been in. Whenever it came to life and all the suspension flexed and it started moving, that thing's a beast. It's a really beastie car.
Hold it, hold it.
What's the tip?
He let the engine on the dyno get up to about 220. It could have blew up, you know, I mean, it could have blew a head gasket, it could have, you know, destroyed it. Thinking about firing James day before race day. You have to be on the dot, on the button, get your ass in there and think of only one thing, and that's racing.
I am nervous as hell. Whenever it comes down to race day, win or lose, it's gonna be the red team won or James, you lost.
Can we slip that header without pulling them out? I think we can, right?
Basically what's going on right now is we're having a fitment issue. We found out that our starter was interfering with our flex plate.
There's a certain way this goes on.
It was approved flex plate, but when we started up, the flex plate flexed and dug into our starter. It could have ended catastrophically.
First things first, we got to take it all apart, get a better look at what's going on, and further assess the situation.
We should have this out in 30 minutes.
Our old one, which is indisposed at the current moment, had a similar contact pattern on it. So what we did is grind the new one so that wouldn't interfere.
Gremlins strike again.
Yeah.
The Gremlins got us.
Big time.
All day they've been eating our food, taking our Teflon tape.
So it's gonna run. When we're not hitting, it's gonna run, guys.
Coming up next on Burnout.
Now I know we're getting ready to go to the dyno. Everybody's super excited. We need to be calm out there, make sure we don't mess up.
We built it, and if something went wrong, we knew it's our ass on the line.
I'm here at the SpeedTube booth at PRI. Some of the coolest shows from way back in the day. You guys really want to check them out, so make sure to go to YouTube, SpeedTube, share, like, and subscribe.
We decided we were going to paint the car and just kind of surprise the team.
It was me, Kirsten, Quincy, and Lance.
We met up at Darren's. We spent about 3 hours on a video game designing it, and we really had to try to think of an idea of what's the best thing that we could get with only a short amount of time. We only had about 9 hours to get everything done.
We had to sand it down first and clean it up.
We're rattle counting it. We had a lot more plans for it, but it's just on time.
We were there all night, pounding energy drinks and trying to get it done. Luckily, once it was done, it looked really nice for a rattle can and some tape.
We came in the next day, unknowing to me. A couple guys from the crew stayed overnight and painted the car. It was really badass. Flat black was beautiful. And then on top of that, we had the pinstriping. It really worked out for us.
The pinstriping was really good. It looks awesome. I watched him do it, and just the detail and like how steady his hand has to be, it's just amazing.
I think the red team's car looks pretty cool, but it ain't half as cool as our car.
I think we worked harder than the red team because, I mean, we did 20, 30 hours sanding and getting ready to paint, even though both cars are running at the same point. They got a rattle can paint job, which took a couple of hours in comparison to what we did for a week.
Now, I know we're getting ready to go to the dyno. Everybody's super excited, but we need to be focused and not be stepping over each other. We need to be calm out there, make sure we don't mess up, okay?
Monty Smith is here to help us get our nitrous system dialed in.
If you want to know who Monty Smith is, just Google nitrous.
Oh, it sounded awesome. Just American muscle. Me and Brendan were like, yes! We built it, and if something went wrong, we knew it's our ass on the line.
First, second, third, hold 3,000 RPM.
I just hit the pedal, dumped in too much fuel, just shot this huge flame.
A motor as tough as this one will run okay at first, even if there's a little hiccup. You won't find the problem at low RPMs or tuning. You're gonna find it at the top.
That off at 6,000.
All of a sudden, the engine goes quiet and just spins down. We go to crank it again, and the engine just freewheels, just spins.
Motor just bad, didn't it? It did.
What was that noise? I heard a little bit of a mess before it backfired up through the carburetor. What? Some guy motor. Some guy heard it. He just turned up. The motor bad. Yep. What that funny noise was, right? What, did it just crank it? When you just tried to crank it? That's why I said crank it. It's done.
My heart just dropped to the floor.
I'm sitting there thinking, we just blew our engine.
I don't want to say anything bad, but probably blew a push rod or something. It's something bad, to be honest with you.
It's practically race day, and our engine blows on the dyno. Everybody's freaking out.
Look at that. We just brought the car back in the shop from the dyno. We start tearing into it, it's worse than we thought.
This one's intake. Intake.
Is that an intake? Obvious?
Yes, look at our rockers.
Oh yeah, that ain't good.
First thing we notice is the cam gear broke.
Sheared the pin off.
See the way it's bent?
Second thing is, we bent 14 of our 16 valves.
See that? It's supposed to be straight.
You just can't go down to the auto parts store and pick these up. I don't know anywhere where we can find these this close to the race.
See how the edges look like a hot dog? That does not get you down the track.
That's pissing the valve, right?
It's really interesting to see how quickly this competition changes hands.
Uh-oh, here comes. Hold off. Bad juju, that's
What's going on, guys?
Things are really switching back and forth.
I want to beat you, but not like this.
The blue team and myself don't want to win the race like this, man. That ain't the way to do it.
It's kind of crazy to see how it can go from good to bad really fast.
You hear the reason why this might have happened?
Me and Brandon were just like speechless. Everyone's just like looking at us. All the attention's on us because we built the engine.
We're gonna remove the intake manifold and see if the cam spins. If we broke the cam, if we broke the timing chain, we might be able to fix it.
We're fixing it either way. Either way, we're gonna get it fixed.
We have less than 48 hours to get that car to the track.
You guys don't plan on sleeping much.
No.
Coming up next on Burnout.
Somebody lose their temper?
We're just blowing off steam.
Blown off steam. There's a damn car and there was no motor in it.
Take your time. This isn't a race.
Not yet.
Well, that's not good. Guess we ain't racing tomorrow.
Here we are waiting for some parts to show up so we can rebuild this engine. We're kind of at a standstill, so to speak. There's not a whole lot we can do.
So we took these tricycles out to the dyno room, strapped them down on the dyno.
You should have seen old boy pumping on the pedals, man. Like he's gonna go somewhere.
We're just trying to have a little bit of fun, and then lo and behold, Carrie Hart shows up.
Straight back.
Hey, if you want, we'll...
So you guys got a wounded motor and your dyno and a tricycle? So we ain't going racing tomorrow?
No, we're going. We're just blowing off steam.
Blowing off steam? There's a damn car in there with no motor in it.
Waiting on parts, sir. The parts on the way momentarily.
We got parts on the way. As soon as we get the parts, it's balls to the wall.
Everything's ripped apart right now. We're just waiting for the new parts to put it back together.
So you think we're gonna be on track tomorrow?
Hell yeah.
On the track.
I'd hate to see that car crushed.
That ain't gonna get crushed.
All right.
We go out to Firebird for test day. This is James's first real chance to prove himself in the car. We're also all watching the vehicle to make sure nothing falls off, snaps in half, spontaneously combusts.
Just trying to stay focused. So nervous. And Young was standing there and John were standing there. And they were like, all right, dude, just take it easy.
I'm stoked right now.
This is the shakedown pass. This is the make sure it's not gonna break pass.
Once that light's green, let go of the button, keep it floored, shift when it tells you to.
Okay, I can do that. So we're not looking for 10 seconds. We're not looking for 12 seconds. We're looking for just seconds to make sure it gets there and gets back. Grab a hold of the tranny brake, and I bring the RPM up, and as soon as I let it go, it was something completely undescribable.
Good. I never thought he'd pull that. His launch was good. I was surprised it was real good.
Jason walked up to the window and he goes, how'd it feel? Pretty good. And I said, I want more, dude.
I want another one.
So I got more.
James actually making a decent pass right out of the box. He surprised me. So I think he'll work out.
There's a point where all you're focused on is what you're doing in the moment. You're not worried about how nervous you are until you stop. And you slow down and you're coming back up the return road and you're like, I just did that.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Clay?
I see we got it done, but how did that happen when we run out of time?
Blue team came over and saw that we ran out of time. They said that they wanted to take it to the track. They don't want to win that way. We've got too much time invested in this car to just say, oh, well, you know, we ran out of time, sorry.
Did somebody lose their temper?
Heard there was a fight at the shop between someone and a hammer and a TV screen.
A little bit. You won. TV lost.
I'm glad that wasn't me, by the way.
Your face was on it.
Well,
I waited until after you were done talking.
Okay. So what do you think we ought to do, bro?
I don't know, man. Smashing TVs, run out of time. Time is time, and if you're missing the start of races, then you ain't gonna be racing. I think you have to make the call on this one.
Let's think about it a minute. I've already told the red team what I think. You have lost. This is over. As far as we're concerned, if the blue team makes it to the track before time runs out, they win.
We're all scrambling, trying to get this thing together. Luckily for us, we pulled enough strings and we got all the pieces and parts to reassemble the heads and the valve train.
And in that classroom where we were rebuilding the motor was some of the most tense air I've ever felt.
And people are beat, man. I got a guy laying up against the wall trying to sleep. This is what makes a crew a crew.
See you guys tomorrow. Let me know how it pulls on.
We sent Wyatt home so we can get some rest for the big day tomorrow. And we sent Brandon home because he's got an attitude today after that engine blew. We spent all day getting the motor back together. I had maybe 5 minutes of sleep through the whole night. I had 2 energy drinks on me. I think I was tweaking like I was on.
I think I was doing push-ups at one point, you know, just anything you can do to stay awake. We're doing things over and over again, just triple checking, making sure that our tiredness isn't causing competency.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, whoa.
Everybody's stressed out. We're just racing against time. Everybody's doing time checks.
There's no way we're gonna miss this race. If I had to take that engine out of the saber-tooth trike, I would have took it out of there and stuffed it in that car.
Take your time, this isn't a race.
Not yet.
That night, we've got it stabbed in the car. Even though we're gonna settle this on the track with the red team, we still wanted to finish before our time ran.
3, 2, 1.
Unfortunately, we didn't.
What the hell?
Hey guys, listen up. We just ran out of time. Let's talk about that for a second. The amount of work that you guys have put in and the effort that you guys have put into this. We've decided that we're gonna push through this if we have to work through the night, and we will be there to race on race day.
Next time on Burnout, the ultimate drag race challenge.
Pretty stoked right now. It's race day. Everything's ready to go for us. Hopefully the blue team shows up so at least we have a race.
We were running around trying to diagnose this, trying to diagnose that.
Someone want to pull me a spark plug?
The sun's coming up, and we're like, we're never making it.
We're a little bit late, but we showed up.